We'll begin our session today lying down on our backs. If you're not already there, start to make your way all the way down onto the ground, lying flat. Let your feet be as wide as your mat, feet relaxed out to the sides. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. You can bring your arms a little bit wider than you normally would. And try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So feel a lift in your chest here on your inhale, and on your exhale, let everything melt down into the ground. Back of neck is long, so if you need to, slightly tilt your chin down toward your toes to lengthen the back of your neck. Eyes softly closed. Let the area around your eyes be really light, so there's no tension. And check in with your jaw here. Maybe even slightly part your lips a little bit just to release your jaw. And keeping your eyes closed, begin to take some deep breaths in and out through your nose. Let your breath be slow and steady. And without forcing your breath, over the next few rounds of breath, see if you can start to lengthen out your breath. So if your normal inhale is to the count of 2 or maybe 3, see if you can inhale to the count of 3 or maybe 4. And when you get to your exhale, match your inhales with your exhales. So using the same count. And while you're doing that, just notice the rise of your belly on your inhale. And on your exhale, let everything melt down into the ground, feeling fully supported by the ground underneath you. We'll be here for a few more rounds of deep breath before we start to move. Start to gently stretch your neck by rolling your head from side to side. Let the movement be as long as your breath in each direction. Just do that one more time to each direction. Bringing your head back through center. Now for this warm-up on your back, try to keep your eyes closed as much as you can. So keeping that connection with your breath and the focus inward. Start to guide your knees into your chest. Left hand on top of left knee, right hand on top of right knee. Begin with some big knee circles in one direction. Gently massaging your low back as you make your way around. And now switch directions. Move your knees the opposite direction. Hug both knees back into your chest and lengthen your left leg straight out in front of you onto the mat. So you're hugging right knee into chest. Take some ankle circles with your right foot in both directions. If it feels good while you're here, start to shift your right knee side to side. So it's a really small movement, just a few inches. And when you're ready, lengthen your right leg straight up to the sky. Hands reach anywhere around your right leg. Place left foot down on the ground. So ground your left foot down. Left knee points up to the sky. And just notice your low back on the mat. So if your leg was lengthened out, part of your low back would be lifted. Just be mindful that all of your low back is touching the ground now. Right leg straight up to the sky. Keep your head and shoulders down on the mat for this variation. Keeping your nervous system relaxed. If you have the flexibility and need to take this stretch a little bit further, walk your hands further up your leg, closer toward your foot, but only if you can keep your head and shoulders down on the ground. Option to point and flex your right foot slowly. Start to lengthen your left leg back out in front of you onto the mat, hugging right knee into chest, and move through a spinal twist. Left hand guides right knee across your body all the way over to the left side. Right arm extends out to the right. Feeling your right shoulder rooted down on the ground. This is a nice chest opener. Breathing deeply here. Last big inhale. And on your exhale, roll back onto your back slowly. Ground your left foot down like it was. Right ankle crosses over left knee. Reclined pigeon pose. Option to stay here if you feel a stretch. If you need to feel more, right hand gently presses right thigh away from you. So helping to facilitate the external rotation of your hip. If you still want to feel more, both hands reach for the back of your left leg, your left thigh, hugging your leg in. And it might feel good to rock side to side. Being mindful to keep sending your right knee away from your body. If your left foot is lifted off the mat, just gently place your left foot back down where you started. And on your next exhale, drop both of your knees over to the right side. Once you're there, heel toe your left foot to the left off your mat so that your left knee is in line with your left hip. Now notice both your hip points. And just see if you can feel yourself rooting down any amount more, your low back into the ground with your exhales. Arms can be anywhere. Keeping your breath smooth and slow. And take one more inhale. And on your exhale, release your foot off of your knee. Guide both of your knees back into your chest. Just rocking a little side to side here. And when you're ready, we'll switch sides. So hugging left knee into chest this time. Lengthen your right leg straight out in front of you onto the ground. Begin with some ankle circles with your left foot. Both directions. And if it feels good here, shifting left knee side to side. Hamstring stretch. Straighten your left leg straight up to the sky. Ground your right foot down on the mat. Both hands reaching for back of left leg anywhere to start. Just noticing your hips down on the mat here. Now, if you want to feel more, you can start to walk your hands up your leg any amount as long as you can keep head and shoulders down on the ground. Option to point and flex left foot. Spinal twist. Lengthen your right leg straight out in front of you onto the mat, hugging left knee back into chest. Right hand guides left knee all the way across your body to the right. Let your left arm extend out to the left. Scooting your body to the middle of the mat if you need to. And just feeling a big chest opener here, stretching out your back. Really important to take deep breaths throughout your practice, but especially in your twist. And take one more inhale. And on your exhale, slowly roll back onto your back, grounding your right foot down. Left ankle crosses over right knee, recline pigeon pose. Option to stay here if you feel a stretch. Left hand pressing left thigh away from you. If you still need more, both hands reaching for back of right thigh, hugging right leg in, maybe rocking side to side once you get there. Checking in any variation you're taking, continue to send your left knee away from your body, getting the most of this external hip stretch. If your right foot is lifted, place right foot back down onto the mat, and on your next exhale, let both of your knees drift over to the left side. Once they fall to the left side, heel toe your right foot over to the right more. Right knee directly in line with your right hip. Just noticing your low back, lift it off the mat and try to melt that down with your exhales without forcing it. Arms can be anywhere. Last inhale here. On your exhale, release your foot off of your knee. Hug knees back into chest. Rock a little side to side. Reach for the backs of your thighs this time. And start to rock yourself forward and back on your spine. Option to keep your eyes closed, just a few more breaths here. Gently massaging your back. Let your shoulders be soft as you're rolling up and down. Do that one more time and rock yourself all the way up to seated. Finding a comfortable position here. If you need to sit up on a few blocks, you can do that, maybe on a blanket if you need to. Otherwise, once you get there, place your hands on top of your knees, palms face down. Sit up as tall as you can. Chest is lifted, shoulders down and back. Lower chin straight down to chest. Pause here. And take one big head roll in both directions. Head comes back up through center. Big shoulder shrug on your inhale. Lift shoulders all the way up to ears. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Do that one more time. On your inhale, lift your shoulders high all the way up to ears. Big breath in. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Seated twist. Right hand catches left knee. Left hand reaches for the ground behind you, anywhere on the ground. Big inhale to prepare. On your exhale, twist. Let your chin stay in line with your heart. You can keep your eyes closed. One more breath in, sit up a little taller, and exhale back through center. Hands on top of knees, palms face down for seated cat-cow. On your exhale, lower your chin to your chest. Straighten your arms and lean back as far as you can, puffing up your back as much as you can. On your inhale, lift your chest, squeeze shoulders, arch back, arms are bent. Exhale, round out, lean back, arms straight, lower chin to chest. Just one more time here. Lift your chest, squeeze shoulders, arch back. And then exhale, round out as far as you can, lean back, head down. Lift your head back up through center, sit up tall, and we'll take a twist to the second time. This time, the second side. This time, left hand catches right knee, right hand reaching for the ground behind you. Big inhale to prepare. And on your exhale, take a twist. Sitting up tall, keeping chin in line with heart. Breathe. One more breath in. Exhale back through center. Stretch both arms up to the sky. Take a big inhale. On your exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out in front of you. Lower your head down any amount. Pausing here, stretching into your low back and your hips. See if you can reach your fingertips out in front of you, maybe just an inch or two more. Gently release that. Sit up tall and shift forward to hands and knees tabletop pose. So bring your knees over to one side, feet over to the other, and roll yourself forward to hands and knees tabletop. Bringing knees directly underneath hips, about hips width apart, wrists under shoulders, fingers spread evenly. Moving through a few rounds of regular cat-cow, continuing to warm the spine. On your inhale, drop your belly, arch your back, squeeze shoulders, tilt your back. Exhale, round out chin to chest. And since you've been here before, if there's any other movements that feel better, feel free to take them now. You can rock your hips side to side, maybe move through some hip circles. And just one more round of breath. Pausing back through the center, taking a wrist stretch. Turn your hands all the way around, wrists face forward. Try to keep palm of hand down, arms straight. Continue to look straight down. Fingers spread evenly. Option to stay here. If you need to feel more, lean your weight back, almost like you're sitting back into a child's pose. So any amount, gently stretching wrists. Slowly turn your hands around, fingertips facing forward, taking a counter stretch for your wrist, just one hand at a time for this stretch. Flip one hand over, doesn't matter which side, bringing the top of your hand down on the ground. Try to keep both arms straight, and if you need to, you can gently lean back. Release that and come into the second side. Opposite hand flips over, bring the top of your hand down on the ground so that your fingertips are facing your knee again. Both arms straight, looking straight down, maybe leaning back just a tiny amount. And when you're ready, come back through center. Both hands plant down on the earth. Taking a calf stretch. Lengthen your right leg straight back behind you, toes curl under. Pausing here in a static stretch. So your right heel is lifted off the ground. Think about trying to ground your right heel all the way down to the ground behind you. If it feels good, you can rock forward and back on your right toes slowly. Keeping this same position with your legs, curl your left toes under. And keeping your right leg straight, lift your hips high. So this is a down dog calf stretch. Left leg is bent a lot, right leg is totally straight. Press the weight up and out of your hands so you're in an upside down V just like you would for down dog, emphasizing your calf stretch here. Make your way back down to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Straighten to the second side with a calf stretch. So lengthen your left leg straight behind you, toes curl under. Actively press your left heel down like you're rooting it all the way down to the ground. Curl right toes under. Legs keep this same shape. On your exhale, lift your hips up to the sky, up and back. Left leg is straight, right leg bent a lot. Pressing the weight up and out of your hands, emphasizing the stretch in your left leg here. One more breath in. On your exhale, come back to hands and knees, tabletop pose. A few shoulder stretches now. On your inhale, stretch your right arm to the sky. Open up your chest to the right side. On your exhale, thread it through. Drop down onto your right shoulder. Side of head down on the ground. If this is too much, you can stay on your right forearm. And make your way back up to hands and knees, tabletop pose. As soon as you get there, one round of cat-cow. On your inhale, drop your belly, tailbone lift, squeeze shoulders, chest forward. Exhale, round spine, chin to chest. Settle back through neutral, second side. Left arm stretches to the sky. Open up chest to the left side. Exhale, thread it through. Drop down onto left shoulder, twisting to the right. Head down on the ground. Option to place forearm down on the mat if this is a little bit too much in your twist. Last breath in here. And on your exhale, make your way back up to tabletop pose, hands and knees, one more shoulder stretch, extended puppy pose. Keep your hips directly over your knees. And on your exhale, start to walk your hands out in front of you. just like you would for child's pose, but your hips are high for this variation. Press your fingertips down into the earth, so keep your arms active, elbows lifted off the mat, forehead all the way down on the ground. One more inhale to press tops of feet down into the earth, and on your exhale, walk your hands back up to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Pause here and come into child's pose. Bring your knees as wide as your mat, big toes touch behind you, sink your hips back to your heels. Let your forehead rest down on the ground. Arms can be soft. It might feel good to roll your forehead on the mat slowly side to side. Walk both hands over to the right side, getting a side body stretch into your left side. Left hand can stack on top of right hand. Now walk your hands through center and over to the other side, all the way off left side of the mat. Option to stack right hand on top of left. Come back through the middle. Shift up to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Walk your hands out in front of you just slightly. Curl toes under and lift hips into downward facing dog. So moving just through a regular downward facing dog now. Keeping that shape of an upside down V. Fingers spread evenly. Press weight on the inside edges of your fingertips and your index finger knuckle especially. That'll help to protect your wrists in a weight bearing pose here. Pedal out heels, rock your hips side to side. On your next exhale, lower knees down to the ground, back through tabletop pose. Swing around through seated and come all the way back down onto your back. Knees hug back into chest. Close your eyes again. Move through your knee circles slowly. And as you're ready, find your way back into Shavasana. Same way we started class. Feet as wide as your mat. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Check in with the back of your neck. Lengthen the back of your neck. Eyes are soft. Jaws relaxed. And this time, just let your breathing return to normal. Whatever's comfortable for you. And for the next several breaths, just let your body rest here. There's nothing you need to do except relax. I'll let you know when it's time to get up. Start to bring a little bit of movement back into your body. Wiggling fingers and toes. On your next inhale, stretch both arms overhead. Reach for the ground behind you. And on your exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Let it go. Gently roll over onto your right side. Knees hug into chest. And make your way back up to seated. Eyes are still softly closed. Sit up as tall as you can. Long spine. Lower chin back down to chest. And take one more head roll, both directions. As head comes back through center, last shoulder shrug. Inhale, shoulders up to ears. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Bring your hands together to your heart. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.